Alright, what is going on my broskies? My name is Toadskii back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Today we're going to be talking about the data download on JP because there is the data download for the new batch. Their new update is actually live, version 10.2, with all of the new information like regarding the coin shop and stuff like that. All of that is currently live on JP right now, which is super exciting. This is their new app icon as well, which looks really cool. But in this video today, I want to be talking about this new batch. I honestly think this might be one of the next best legends in the game. I think it definitely rivals some of the other top tier characters like Shanks Crew, Sanji Luffy, sorry. I definitely think this character could definitely be considered as the best legend in the game, just with everything that we know right now. So in this video today, we're going to break him down, give my thoughts and opinions, and we'll go from there. So first of all, massive shout out to Koala-san for the translations. These are available on the subreddit and also on the subreddit Discord right here. So let's go through Kaido first. So Kaido will -2 cooldown to the crew at the start of the adventure. Strength, Dex, and Int characters get a 5x attack boost. This is an unconditional 5x boost that's active all the time. 1.3 HP boost. Cut the HP of all enemies at the end of the turn. It's not listed there, but it's a 20% health cut at the end of each turn for all enemies. Yeah, that's crazy actually, especially if you've got double Kaido. Absurd. And then it also increases the rate of tandem orbs appearing, and then the crew will treat them as beneficial. Now his special ability, which I believe is a 12 or 13 turn cooldown, cuts HP of all enemies by 20% that ignores all defensive abilities. Really good. Changes block and recovery orbs into tandem, and then for one turn boosts the attack of strength, Dex, and Int by 2.25 times, and then when you hit 3 or more perfects, you boost the orbs of those same types by 2.5 in the following turn. So again, this character is really crazy because he's got pretty decent health, unconditional 5x, -2 cooldown so you get through content quicker. Tandem orbs are appearing more often and are treated as matching, so higher chance at matching orbs, of course. The end of turn health cut is also really good, so if the enemy has like a really absurd amount of health, like literally just stalling a turn, you're cutting their health by a pretty significant margin, and the enemy cannot do anything about that health cut unless if they inflict you with normal attacks only. So that's not really that big of a deal, honestly. They get rid of block orbs, attack boost turn 1, and then, you know, orb boost in the following turns. If you've got double Kaido, you get attack boost on that one turn, you hit your perfects or whatever, and then on the following turn, you'll get the orb boost, and then you can activate your second Kaido for a 2.25 attack, and then having that 2.5 orb boost. It's just pretty crazy in terms of the amount of damage that you can get with this character, right? Now that's just the Kaido side of things. Remember, this is a versus unit, which means that before you enter the quest, you need to make sure that you either have Big Mom set as the unit, or you have Kaido set as the unit. So that's one of the great benefits of this, is the fact that it's a versus unit, so it's like 2 characters in one, essentially. There's 2 different abilities here that we're going to be talking about. So this is moving into the Big Mom side of things, and we haven't even talked about their versus ability yet, which is a new addition to this mechanic here. So Big Mom is very similar, but instead of boosting strength, Dex, and Int, she boosts strength, Psi, and Int instead by 5x, 1.5 health, so more tankier, and then increases the appearance rate of recovery slots, and then she treats recovery and Semla slots as beneficial, and then consumes recovery and Semla slots even when you hit a perfect. This is a more tanky style unit, but even still, a 5x attack boost is still really good, but Kaido you'd want to be using probably a majority of the time because of the additional cooldown, just getting through content quicker. But like if there's a lot of Int enemies, you'd be wanting to run Big Mom because of the boosting Psi units. You can run Psi units on your team instead, and then making the recovery and Semla beneficial, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But Big Mom's special ability is very similar as well. It's a 20% health cut that goes through all defensive effects, and then block and tandem become recovery, and then for one turn boost the attack of those types by 2.25, and then an orb boost for those types in the following turn. So you can see like they're almost the same unit, but with very minor changes between the two. Now we get to the versus effect. So the versus effect, it's a new gauge that will appear beside the character. And now in order to fill the gauge up, it says when the crew has consumed up to 10 recovery, tandem, or Semla slots with normal attacks. So that's not very difficult to do. If you're trying to clear content very quickly, you probably won't be seeing this condition, but you can definitely get to a situation where you can activate it in a run, like on a Coliseum or a raid boss. You could definitely get this done, because consuming 10 of those slots is not very difficult. Now for Kaido, when you activate the Versus ability when Kaido is the character, this is the effect that you get. For 3 turns, 500 times this character's attack in typeless damage to all enemies at the end of the turn. That's crazy. That's even higher than what the version 1 Kaido character has. So again, like that's an absurd amount of damage for 3 turns. And remember, this can be used to get through resilience buffs as well. I mean, then again, his captain ability is already a health cut, so that can actually already go through resilience buffs anyway. But then it says also, in that turn, do 3 times the amount of damage that he himself has done in typeless damage to the enemy with the highest amount of HP. So this is very similar to like Legend Bullet, for example. When you use his special, you know, however much damage that bullet does, you double that damage and it gets dealt as AoE damage. This is a little bit different where instead of being double damage, it's 3 times damage. But remember, this character does not hit super effective against all types. So that's the balancing factor there. But either way, this will also only target the character with the highest amount of health. So it's not AoE damage, so it is a little bit toned down, but it's just a significant more amount of damage because it's multiplied by 3. So if this character hits 1,000,000 damage with his normal attacks, it's 3,000,000 damage dealt to the enemy with the highest amount of HP. It's a really good effect, especially because you've got this as well. There's lots of damaging effects going on here. So obviously normal attacks only is going to hinder these type of abilities, but at the end of the day, it's still really, really good. Now on the Big Mom side of things, a little bit different. For 3 turns, her own normal attacks will ignore any defensive abilities and base defense. So she just does a lot of damage. And then for 3 turns, recovery slots will become the Semler slots. Now remember, Semler cannot be manipulated or taken away from the enemy, so that's the major benefit there. And then it says, at the end of the enemy's turn, heal number of enemies defeated multiplied by 15. That's a really interesting mechanic as well. So remember, Big Mom with her captain effect is a 1.5 times HP captain. So the fact that you can have so much HP, and then when you activate her ability, she goes through all base defense and defensive effects, so you can kill enemies faster. And then also you are able to, you know, maintain your slots easier as well. And remember, when you're hitting perfects, you are healing with those similar slots as well. And then also, when you kill enemies, you heal 15 times recovery. That's pretty crazy, honestly, because the amount of recovery you can get from this is just nuts. So I think that maybe for high difficulty content, Big Mom will be the better captain. But for like raids and Colosseums, I think Kaido will definitely be the better choice. But that's the benefit of this character, is you can choose whichever one you want depending on the content that you're going up against, because remember, both of them will still boost strength and int. It's just that Kaido boosts dex and then Big Mom boosts psi specifically. So you can see that all these effects together, I do personally think this character is easily a tier 0 unit. This character is insane, so strong. Now, there's also some other abilities as well, like they've got critical hit, slot bind reduction, enrage as well. For their sailor abilities, they can't be blown away, which is good, and strength and int characters will treat tandem, recovery, and similar slots as beneficial. Amazing ability to have. And remember that these versus conditions, I'm pretty sure, can be activated when they are a sub on a team. So being able to activate this when this character is a sub, plus you have these amazing special abilities, like, this character is just insane. And then you also have the Pirate Rumble ability. So Kaido, this is quite controversial, this one. So Kaido's Rumble special, right, cuts the HP of one enemy by 90%. 90%. And then also reduces his own special CT by level 10. Now, this is a very good ability, but a lot of people wondering, what is his CT? And initially when I saw this, I thought, you know, maybe it's going to be a 50 or a 60 CT. Little did we know, it's actually 25. A 25 CT special to do this is just bonkers. This is hands down one of the best special abilities in Pirate Rumble. Like, this is just nuts. And then his actual passive ability at level 5, from the start of the battle for 40 seconds, he gives himself level 10 HP and level 3 defense. And then when there is 60 seconds or less remaining, he gives himself level 5 and level 5 attack and level 5 speed. So again, just everything as a packaged unit here. Kaido is just nuts in Pirate Rumble. He's also immune to movement seal or action bind, as it's dubbed on global. So really cool abilities. And then Big Mom is a little bit different. So she does damage in a medium range, and then she does damage again in a medium range, and then damage again in a large range, depending on how much time is left. So the less time that's left, the more damage that she does, which is pretty cool. Very reminiscent of her version 1 character. And then her passive, from the start of the battle for 40 seconds, level 5 CT charge rate for all int characters. Just, you know, int just needed all of that support on Pirate Rumble, man. Just why? Why is this a thing? And then when time remaining is 60 seconds or less, level 8 speed for herself. And then 30 seconds or less is 10 CT charge up for herself. That's pretty cool. I do think Kaido's a bit better, but remember that Big Mom being int is actually really good because int is just so strong on Pirate Rumble, even on Japan and on global, and then immune to special seal as well. So that's the breakdown of Kaido and Big Mom, and I just think this character is just bonkers, insane, insanity. I don't know why they made a character like this so strong, and it just gets me excited for like, what type of versus units are we going to see in the future? Because if they're anything similar to this, dude, this is going to be crazy. I'm super excited to see what they come up with, especially like a Luffy Katakuri in the future. It's gonna be crazy. Anyways, let's move on to the next character of the batch, which is going to be King. I'm a big fan of King's artwork, actually. It looks really, really cool. So King is a strength unit. Does it actually say it here? Where is it? He's a strength, yeah, powerhouse driven. Okay, pretty straightforward, I guess. Strength character is 2.75, 10% damage reduction. His special ability, -2 cooldown for powerhouse units, and then changes adjacent slots to matching, and reduces 5 turns of burn, special seal, and blindness. That's pretty good, especially with this as well. He counters 2 turns of special rewind, so really good for powerhouse teams. And then he also resists 5 turns of special seal. So yeah, this character is just overall utility and cooldown reduction. And the really cool thing here is that with his limit break ability, you can see that his third limit break ability is the fear debuff removal. So you know, in certain situations where you're inflicted with fear, his sailor ability is not going to work to reduce special seal, which means that you can't use his special to reduce special seal. However, when he's got this maxed out, it means that he will be able to resist it to then reduce special seal on your whole team. So having this is such a huge addition to the character. So I'm a big fan of that. Really, really good. And then in Pirate Rumble, he's actually not that good, which kind of sucks. But the next one, Queen. This is another character we were hoping to see in the game. Finally, this is the first Queen character in the game. So Queen is a Psi unit. I believe he's the same class as powerhouse driven, yeah. So Queen will go ahead on a, what cooldown is he? 12? He's on an 11 turn cooldown, okay. Reduce 5 turns of defense up and % damage reduction, and for 1 turn lock the chain at 3 times. It's a little, it's okay. It would have been nice if he also reduced 5 turns of threshold as well on top of this. You know, one of those really cool utility based units, but unfortunately doesn't do that. But still, 5 turns of defense and rainbow shield is really good. And then just adding a chain lock on top of that. Heal 150 when you consume recovery. At the start of the adventure, changes all orbs to recovery. So yeah, this is a phenomenal rare recruit for the new Big Mom, and obviously makes sense because Big Mom boosts Psi characters, which this character is a Psi unit. So obviously makes a lot of sense there. He has the Hungry debuff reduction, which is cool. And then in Pirate Rumble, it's actually really interesting, right? So his special ability in Rumble, 1500 fixed damage to 3 enemies. That's pretty good. And then heal 1.5 times his recovery to Strength, Psi, and Int allies. This is going to be a really nice addition to the Psi team on Pirate Rumble, especially with his ability as well. Level 6 guard rate up for Strength, Psi, and Int, and then level 3 HP up as well. Just really cool character for Pirate Rumble. Just unfortunately his CT timer is 35, so 35 CT for this is a little unfortunate. But what's his recovery? I don't know. I don't remember. I think it's this one, 374, right? 374 recovery multiplied by 1.5. It's not a very big recovery boost, I will admit, but the fixed damage to 3 enemies is just a really nice addition, especially with this really cool passive. So I think this unit's pretty good. And then the final rare recruit is Jack, which actually has a really nice artwork, actually. So Jack is Int. He is an Int, is he the same classes? Yep, powerhouse driven, so yep, pretty self-explanatory. Powerhouse captain, nothing special. Special ability is a 12 turn cooldown. 200,000 fixed damage to 1 enemy, reduce 5 turns of bind and attack down, and then boost the orbs of the entire team by 2 times. Yeah, it's a good special. I mean, you know, fixed damage is like whatever. It's only to 1 enemy. But then, you know, bind and attack down removal is a nice piece of utility there. And then a 2 times orb boost, pretty nice. Now, for his passives on Pirate Rumble, let's have a look. 3 times his attack and damage to enemies in a short range, and 60% chance to special seal 2 enemies for 15 seconds. Yeah, that's okay. What's his CT? 35? Okay, yeah, that's not great. I'll admit. And plus he's Int. What is his passive? Level 7 speed for Strength Sign Int. Okay, I guess if you really don't have a lot of the really powerful Int legends, this might be an okay character, but I don't really think he's too crazy, so I'm not really a big fan of this Jack. I mean, the utility is nice, but I'm sure there's plenty of characters that can remove bind and attack down, and I mean, it's nice that he does that plus an orb boost, I guess, but it's nothing game-breaking. Plus, his sprite actually looks really cool when he's sitting on the alligator. Looks super cool. Now, we've got a new Shinobu and Nami unit. This is actually a new raid boss coming to the game. This character, let's have a look. They are Int, Free Spirit Cerebral, okay. Captain ability is Int and Strength 3 times, 1.2 health, and Int and Strength orbs are beneficial. Cool. And then, what's their cooldown? 12 turns. Will reduce 2 turns of Bind and Despair. Do they have double special activation? They don't. Okay, 2 turns is a little low. And then for 3 turns, increase the appearance rate of matching orbs, and then randomize all orbs, except for, including block, except for tandem recovery and matching. Okay, pretty interesting. Works really well with the new legends. And then for 1 turn, boost color affinity by 1.75, and after 1 turn has passed, you get another 1.75 color affinity boost. Okay. So it's just a nice addition unit to the new legends for Bind Despair removal, a high chance at matching orbs, I suppose, and then 2 turns of color affinity. They seem okay. They seem okay. And then the special, 50% chance to special deal 2 enemies. That's not very good. 25 CT, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Level 2 HP up, level 5 guard rate up. Yeah, this character, honestly, is not that good. I'm not really a big fan of this unit, but I guess like 2 turns of color affinity is kind of nice, especially if the enemy reacts to color affinity, so that's okay. And then there's a new free-to-play Drake character, which artwork looks really good because you can see like Sober Mask on the side here, which is pretty dope. But this Pirate Festival Drake is the new free-to-play, like, farmable character that you get for completing missions on Pirate Rumble. So he's a strength unit, 3.5 attack with a matching orb, 2.5 otherwise. Strength characters treat Dex as beneficial. And then special cooldown is 9 turns, reduce 3 turns of attack down and despair, reduce 3 turns of threshold, and changes adjacent orbs to matching, and for 3 turns, he adds tap timing. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then he has crit and orb seal. And then in Pirate Rumble, 1.8 times his attack in a sideways medium range, level 10 attack up to ally with the highest attack for 20 seconds. For 25 CT, okay, seems okay. And then his abilities, level 2 CT charge up for strength, and then level 5 attack up. Again, just seems kind of mid. I'm not really a big fan of these free-to-play units they made. They're actually not, like, super amazing. Compared to like previous stuff that we've had, but I mean, it's all about the rare recruits and the Sugo Fest exclusive here, especially the Kaido and Big Mom. I love their unevolved artwork, by the way. So there you go, that's the rundown of all the new batch. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about these characters, because as I said, I do think that Kaido and Big Mom is like top 3 best character in the game in terms of the Sugo Fest exclusives. I think they're absolutely absurdly strong. So let me know your thoughts and opinions about them, and especially the new versus ability. So, and like how that can be abused in the future with like future characters that are versus units. So very interested. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.